Well, we are learning more tonight about a deadly house fire that claimed the lives of a father and his 2 children in Van Zandt County. This happened overnight at a home along County Road 3216 just outside the Edgewood city limits. Tonight, KLTV7's Avery Niles has more on what we've learned about the victims and how you can help.
It's going to be very hard for us.
Around 8:30 last night, authorities were called to a structure fire in Van Zandt County where 3 people were inside of the home. David Reed and his 2 sons, 7-year-old Willem Reed and 6-year-old Brantley Reed, were killed as a result of the fire. Carrie Hawkins, a family friend who asked to not be on camera, says the 3 were kind, fun-loving people.
Anybody who knew David knew that he was the sweetest person ever. He's the person that would give you the shirt off his back. The boys were very sweet, very loving. They were always rambunctious and full of life.
The boys were in 1st and 2nd grade and attended Edgewood Elementary. They were also very involved in youth basketball and baseball programs. Kristen Prater, the superintendent for the school district, says Edgewood is a tight-knit community.
This is a devastating loss for our community. We're a very small community. We are a family. The district is the hub of the community. Everything that happens revolves around the school.
Prater says they have counselors at every school in the district for students and staff and have enacted their comprehensive crisis plan at this time.
We are contacting the parents of the students who were in that classroom with the students that passed away. We're contact those parents, reaching out to provide support and resources of how to talk to your child about a death.
Hawkins says the mother of the children was at work at the time of the fire and has lost all of her belongings too. The community has come together to offer her support during this time.
Sonic and Edgewood, they are accepting monetary donations and gift cards so that way she can buy whatever she needs and to help with funeral costs. A GoFundMe link has been made and you can find it on Facebook.
Avery Niles, KTRE, East Texas News 9.
And no word yet on what caused this house fire. Now, if you'd like to help this family out, a bank account has been set up for donations at the American National Bank of Texas under the name Deborah Cunningham.